Today we'll talk about a little bit about data visualization using the ggplot. And I will talk very basic code which you easily can understand even if you have not have a command on RStudio or our language. So first of all, I will share the screen. And where is my, yes. So slideshow, and can you view the screen?
Yes,
Kindly
yes,
tell
it's
me.
visible.
Okay, thank you so much again. Everyone who is attending, I think I have log in on two devices, so I have to close the other one because it is uh, creating interruption. I'm okay. So let us start with the data visualization with the ggplot2. And ggplot is a very popular, it is becoming a very popular to create a high quality graphs with the small code. I must say using the smart code. According to Garrett Groleman in their book, R for Data Science, there are two engines of knowledge generation. One is data visualization and other is modeling. They said that visualization is a fundamentally human activity. A good visualization will show you what you did not expect. It may raise new questions about the data. A good visualization might also point out if someone asking the wrong question. Visualization can also surprise you. In data analysis process, you better understand that data exploration is initial step, and data visualization is a very important tool that is used for the data exploration. And data visualization is a great place to start with the R programming. You can make elegant and informative plots for better understanding of the data. We need to install the package tidyverse to use ggplot for creating the graphs and also load the library tidyverse. ggplot is actually embedded under the library tidyverse. And tidyverse is the collection of modern packages used for data analysis, particularly very useful for data science. It made data science fast, fluent, and fun. And how it make it fast, fluent, fun? You can easily read, clean, and analyze data, and also draw graphs with simple tidyverse tools. Everything fits together like a piece of a puzzle. The code looks simple and it is very easy to understand the code of tidyverse package. All the packages in the tidyverse are made to work together and use a similar style of coding. If you learn or make a tool once, then you can easily get familiarized with the other one tools. This is the learning material for the tidyverse. You may easily access the resource to learn the tidyverse by visiting the website tidyverse.org and get description about tidyverse package, its installation, cheat sheet, and help sources on this website. You can follow Headley, Garrett, and many more who are working on Tidyverse, either on Tidyverse or on RStudio. You can follow them on RStudio blog, on Twitter, and can make yourself update about the new features that are introduced in this package. The second source I have mentioned is the GIT Hub. From GIT Hub, you may access and download slides, RMD files, and other relevant material. Self-learning of Tidyverse is very well supported by online resources. There are many more resources. I have mentioned just two websites. These are the sum of books. You may read to learn tidyverse or ggplot. You may download the PDF R for data science. You may learn about data visualization in very easy and interesting manner from this book. According to Roger D. Peng, this book is Bible for generation of data analysts. It is commented that this book gives you a solid foundation of data science. You may also use ggplot2 that is also written by Hadley Wickham. R for data science is written by Hadley Wickham and Garrett Groleman. And you may also consult R graphics cookbook. This is the view of RStudio interface. We will today work on RStudio to learn data visualization with the help of ggplot. It can be downloaded from the link given in this slide. First of all, you have to install latest version of R, and then using the link install RStudio. Here you may observe that there are three main regions of RStudio interface that included editor pane, console, and output. In console, you may keep experimenting, but once you have finalized your code that works very well, you may put it in the script editor. RStudio will automatically save the content of the editor when you quit from the RStudio, and will automatically load it when you reopen it. But it is always nice that you will save your script regularly. You can use the keys Control and Enter to execute the code. This execute the current R expression in the console. Instead of running expression by expression, you can also execute the complete script in one step. Now let us start with the ggplot. R has several systems for making the graphs. But ggplot2 is considered as one of the most elegant and most versatile, as already I have said. ggplot2 implements the grammar of graphics. Here, GG stands for the grammar of graphics, a clear system for describing and building the graphs. Unlike most other graphics package, ggplot has an underlying grammar based on the grammar of graphics that allows you to compose graphs by combining independent components. This makes ggplot2 powerful. ggplot is not limited to set of predefined graphics. You can create your own novel graph that is tailored or customized according to your own needs or your own objective of data visualization. Basically, ggplot is a simple set of core principles. It provides beautiful, hassle-free plots. However, if you do have some special formatting requirements, ggplot2 can also do it for you. ggplot2 is designed to work iteratively in the form of layers. It works like as a human being, we plot our graph on the paper. So it follows the same principles and same iterative process. As I mentioned earlier that ggplot works in the form of layers. We start the code with data and then add layers. A layer is a collection, a layer, first one is the, I have mentioned here is the geom. So a layer is a collection of geometric elements, and or it may also include statistical transformations. Geom is the abbreviation of geometrical elements. It tells how we want to represent data, for example, in the form of points or in the form of lines, bars. Stat is short of statistical transformations. If we need to summarize the data, we may add a layer stat. For example, binning and counting observations to create a histogram or box plot. Scales map values in the data space. Scales draw the legend, and axes, it also includes the use of color, shape, or size. A chord or coordinate system describes how the coordinates are mapped to the plane of the graphic. It also provides axes and grid lines to help read the graph. We normally use the Cartesian coordinate system, but many others are also available like polar coordinates and map projections. Then is the layer of facet. A facet specifies how to break up and display subsets of data and display multiple subplots in the single region or in the single graph. A theme control how to display the data in terms of the font size and in terms of background color or design. Let us start with the built-in data set in RStudio, that is MPG, miles per gallon. It is a data set that contains fuel economy data of 38 models of cars. It is used in R for data science book to understand the data visualization. That is why I have used the same data set and same graphs that are used in the R for data science to in this tutorial. It includes variables like engine displacement, cylinders, and city or highway miles per gallon, etc. There are some more variables that are also in that data file. At the start from this data set, we pick two variables, that is engine size, that is DISPL, and highway mileage to display the relationship between the two variables in RStudio using the ggplot. This slide present view of RStudio. We can see that in the editor pane, this is the editor pane. Data is called in the gray area. This is the gray area. It is called a chunk, and data is called in this chunk. It is a built-in data set. When you call it in a chunk, and the data is appear just below the chunk. It is always recommended to start with the script with the package that you need and load its library. So we will have to install first the package tidyverse and load the library. As I have already mentioned, that ggplot is embedded under the library tidyverse. In this slide, there is here in the console you can observe the package that are embedded under the library tidyverse that also include ggplot and some other ones that are used in the for the purpose of data analysis in data science. In slide, you may observe it is called the R notebook. R notebook is a special type of document in RStudio that explains what you are doing, show R code you use, and also display results or plots here. Data display, you can see the data display as well in the script editor. It do all in one well-organized document. When you save the notebook, an HTML file containing the code and output will be saved alongside it. You can knit it with other formats as well, like Word or PDF. So we will start with the code. Make sure to pay strict attention to spelling, capitalization, and parentheses while writing a code in using the package tidyverse in RStudio or in R. ggplot creates a coordinate system. Here is the ggplot. It is the function used to plot the to make or create any type of graph. Remember, ggplot2 is the package that is used for graphic display or for the creation of graphs, while ggplot is the function used for plotting. ggplot creates a coordinate system in which you can add layers. The first argument is the data set to use in the graph, and here data is MPG. So we have inserted data is equal to MPG in the parentheses after the function ggplot. Ggplot2 package is when we add layer in this graph, the first one layer that is added is of geom points. And geom is the abbreviation of geometrical object you want to render on the data points. So we have decided here to plot, to meet our objective to display the relationship between engine size and highway mileage. We may use geom underscore point for this purpose. It makes our scatter plot. Then after geom point, we map aesthetics. And to map aesthetics, the simplest one aesthetics we are going to map is just to decide about what should be included on x-axis and what should be included on the y-axis. This is a very basic aesthetics for mapping. So what result is generated? It shows us a scatter plot that is generated using this one code. So always initialize a plot with ggplot. It is the function to generate the graph. Then add layers with geom function. So here is the ggplot, the name of the function. The first argument is data, then add the layer. And there is a tip for you that use a plus sign to add the layer before the new line of code. Geom underscore point is the geometrical object you want to render on the data, and then you map the aesthetics. And here aesthetics defined are just, we will tell what to include on the x-axis and what to include on the y-axis. Here is the template we have used to generate the scatter plot previously. And we can see that it is a very simple code. You need to remember that after ggplot function, you have to add the data, then add the layer, and first layer is the geometrical object you want to render on the data, and then define or map the aesthetics with it. Now I will discuss a little bit more about mapping. John Tukey said that the greatest value of a picture is when it forces us to notice what we never expected to see. We can observe in this graph that there are some points on this right bottom corner that are depicting something different from other data points. So we need some more aesthetics to add to investigate what actually is happening. Now let us add some more aesthetics to test the theory. These are the aesthetics we can use for better understanding of data. We can use size, symbols, or color as aesthetic property. Aesthetic mapping in ggplot do this task very well. And here we are going to map the aesthetic color on the variables class. The word level is used to describe aesthetic properties. ggplot2 will automatically assign a unique level of aesthetic. Here it is color to each unique value of the variable. The variable is class, that is the type of car. So each type of car has been assigned a unique color, which is called a level. So here class is another variable in the MPG dataset, and it tells us about the type of car. So when we map class with color aesthetics, it automatically assign color to each type of car and display the legend also automatically. So here is the code in which we have used the aesthetic color as the aesthetic property, and we map it on the variable class. So let us check what happens when we execute this code. Here we can observe that our question was, what is happening with these points? These points shows that in spite of heavy engines, these cars are doing well with the fuel economy. So if we from here we can check that these are the SUV type of car, SUV. So these and further if we investigate, these type of cars have heavy engine, but in their body is light. So their have a better fuel economy. So it means that when we can generate a graph or do data visualization, it can raise a new questions, or it can surprise you and establish new theories. Next, here we now we are going to use size as a static property on the same variable class. So we can observe what happens when we use or execute this code. Uh, Size controls how big or small the points looks. Bigger size shows larger values, smaller size shows smaller values. It works better when the variable is numeric. For categories, color or shape is better option. And now we move towards the next one, aesthetic property. You may observe the rest of code remains the same. Just we are changing the aesthetic property. Now we are using the shape as the aesthetic property, and same we are using the same variable class to map it. The shape aesthetic controls the symbols or markers used for each point. It's used to distinguish different categories, types, or groups. Each category gets a different shape. For example, we can observe there are circles, triangles, squares generated. It's not used to show quantity or amount, just group the identity. But here there is a issue. You may observe that no symbol has been assigned to type of car, SUV. The reason is that in ggplot there are ggplot has 6 symbols, and and in this case there are 7 categories. So SUV remained unplotted. So we must be careful while plotting, while using the shape as a aesthetic property, that are variable of interest must not have more than 6 categories. Otherwise they will the categories that if the categories are more than 6, then that remain unplotted. Here alpha is used to map the variable class alpha. So what happened? First we observe the plot. Other code remains same in all cases. Alpha is actually a shading parameter. It controls the transparency and it reduces the overplotting. When many points overlap and hide each other, for example, if you want to see the density, then it is better to use the alpha parameter. It makes plots look cleaner when data is dense. So when which aesthetic property should be used? If the variable is discrete, color aesthetic can be successfully used, and also for the continuous variable we can use the alpha. Size works well for both discrete and continuous, and shape works well for the discrete data. Once you map an aesthetic, ggplot takes care of the rest. It selects a reasonable scale to use with the aesthetic, and it constructs a legend that explains the mapping between levels and values. For X and Y aesthetics, ggplot2 does not create a legend, but it creates an axis line and with the tick marks and a label as well, label of the variables. If you map aesthetic property outside the aesthetic, here you can observe that color is equal to blue is used outside the aesthetic mapping. So it will create a plot that has all the values in the blue color. As we discussed in previous slides, that a geom is the geometrical object that a plot uses to represent the data. In next slides, I will give you a little detail about it. Check how are these plots similar. So check the similarities. Here we observe what similarity exists. You may observe that x-axis variable displays the same. The variable on the y-axis is also same. Yes. And now you may observe that data is also same. So this is the similarity between these two graphs, but there is a difference also exists. So what is the difference? As we see in this slide, there is also difference in the two plots, and difference is the geometrical object rendered on the data. We used two different geoms to plot the same data. The plot on the left hand side uses the point geoms, and the plot on the right hand side has used the geom smooth to a smooth line to fit the data. So it means we can use different geoms to generate the graph. We can also use multiple geoms in the same plot. Like here we can check that one layer is of geom points. Yeah, it will create a scatter plot, and other geom underscore smooth will generate a smooth line on that is passing through these scatter plots. So we can add multiple geoms in a single plot as well. This is the cheat sheet of geom functions. People often describe plots by the type of geom that the plot uses. For example, bar charts use bar geoms, line charts use line geoms, box plots use box plot geoms, and so on. But scatter plot break the trend. They use the point geom. So let us try some geom functions and check what happens. Box plots display we know that box plot displays a robust summary of the distribution. So here the code, just check the code. The code start with the ggplot function, and first input is data. Then we have added a layer, and which layer we have added? We have added the layer of geometrical object which we want to render on the data, and here it is geom underscore box plot. Then we have mapped aesthetics and used the very basic aesthetics, just mentioned the variable on the y-axis, and geom box plot has been generated. If we want to make many box plot for each we want to make box plot for each category of another variable, that is class, we have to mention it in the after the aesthetics, after the function aesthetics, and within the parentheses, if we mention it, then it will generate the multiple or different box plots for each category of the variable class. If we want to change the display, that we want to generate a box plot horizontally, then we'll have to add another layer. Here plus is used for adding another layer, and use the function quad underscore flip, and we have to mention nothing. It will automatically pick up the aesthetics which we have used in the previous one layer. and use the same data as it was used in the ggplot at the when after the function of ggplot. Here, geom histogram is used, and have you observed the difference that while mapping aesthetics, nothing mentioned on y-axis? We can observe that in we have previously observed that we have mentioned two variables, one on x-axis and one on the y-axis while making the scatter plot. But here we are mentioning, or we are mapping only one single variable, that is highway mileage. Actually, the y-axis shows the count or frequency of observation in each bin, and ggplot compute it automatically. Here we have also mentioned the bin width of our own choice, whatever you want to look your geom histogram. So here is the geom function we have used is the geom underscore density to produce different density plots for the variable class, that is the different types of cars, and we have mapped it with the static property color. Rest of the code remains same throughout, so it is very easy to change your graph by little after little modification in the code. Here, instead of using color aesthetic property, group is equal to class has been used, and it has generated different density plots for different categories of class, but without mapping color aesthetics. Here, geom underscore bar is used to make a bar chart, and here we make another change that use the fill is equal to class. It means that we are mapping aesthetics fill to fill the bar for the different categories of cars that are in the variable class. And legend is automatically created for this purpose to explain the chart. And if we want to just give a different color on the outline of each bar, then we can use color is equal to class. So there is a little difference. Previously, we have used fill is equal to class to use color inside the bars, and if we use color is equal to class, then only color will appear on the outline of bars. Now we compare global versus local mapping. Local mapping is defined inside a specific geom, like inside geom underscore point. Here, geom underscore, when we use the geometrical object for scatter plotting, that is geom underscore point, it is followed by the mapping and aesthetics that x is equal to dispel on the x-axis and y on the highway mileage on the y-axis. Then we have added another layer that is of geom smooth. Again, we have given the same mappings. So it is called the local mapping that we use each time. Each time we give the details about mapping locally inside the geom function. But here we can observe that mapping has been done in the ggplot function. So this is called the global mapping. After that, we have added the layer geom underscore point and also added the layer geom underscore smooth, but we have not again added mappings inside these functions. But we have defined mapping globally in along with the data. So when we plot the geom point and geom smooth, it will automatically pick all the mappings from the first one, ggplot function. So that's why it is called the global mapping. Beside global mapping, which is in this case is specification of variable on X and Y axis, local mapping also added in layer geom point. Here local along with the global, local mapping is also added. Here we have added color aesthetics to the variable drive. Color is used as aesthetic to map the variable drive, and this mapping override the global mapping. So we can observe that in global mapping, color is not mentioned, but when we mentioned in the geom function as a local mapping, it has it has override to the all the points. We can also set data locally or globally. For example, in this case, for geom smooth function, instead of using complete data MPG, data is filtered for front wheel drive. So here we can observe that local mapping is only applied to the front wheel drive of cars. Now, if we have generated graphs, the next step is how to save those graphs. That is very important. You may save the graph from export in the output pane of the RStudio. There is a export menu, and you can save your plot manually using this menu in the form of PDF or in the form of PNG, and there are other formats are also available. You may save the last one plot. It means as soon as you generated the plot, you have to save it by using the ggsave function, and inside the ggsave function within the inverted comma you have to specify the name of plot with the extension what format you want to save it, like if you want to save it in the PDF, mention .pdf. If you want to save in the form of PNG, mention .png. And if you want to give the specification about the size of the graph, you can specify width and height as well. The working directory is the main folder on your computer where R reads and saves files by default. So get WD, get working directory, tells us which folder R is currently using as its working directory in your computer. So it is very important. You can observe it in the output menu, output pane of the RStudio. You can also set working directory using this one code, and within the parentheses you have to mention within the inverted commas the path of folder or whatever you want to use as the working directory. So to make a ggplot, you need a data input. First off, we will always start with the ggplot function. First argument is the data you have to mention. You may use data is equal to and type the name of, give the name of data file, or you may simply write here the name of data file without mentioning data is equal to, because ggplot understand that after ggplot function is the data argument. And then layer is added, and very basic layer is to choose a geom to display the cases or data, and then map the aesthetic properties to those variables. Let us check what else can we do with the ggplot. We can generate a facet plots using ggplots. Faceting means of splitting one big plot into smaller plots based on the values of one variable or variables. Each small plot shows a subset of the data. Facet underscore wrap function is used for this purpose in R. You have to specify the variable for which you want to make the subplots. Here we want to make the subplots or scatter plots for the engine size and highway mileage for the each category of car that is given in the variable class. And here we specify with how we want the display, that is the number of rows is equal to 2, or we can mention the number of columns here as well. This is also a facet plot, and it is the actually the combination of two categorical variable. It produce subplots for the combination of two categorical variables. To generate this graph, we have to add a layer of facet underscore grid, and within the parentheses specify the two variables, the two categorical variables for which we are making the subplots. Here, one is the drive, and this is the tilde that is used as a formula, and then the variable is cylinder size. So facet grid is facet grid generated many subplots for the combination of variable drive and cylinder size. In ggplot2, position adjustment controls how overlapping or stacked elements are placed in a plot. It is used when there is groups within the category. For example, in this case, for this graph, diamond data set has been used, that it is the built-in data set in RStudio. And here the on the x-axis variable cut is used, and each bar is stacked for the variable clarity. We can also use position dodge. It tells ggplot to place elements side by side instead of stacking. It is place for example, for the fair cut, it display the other variable clarity as well side by side instead of stacking it. It's mostly used in bar charts, box plots, or point plots when you have groups. So here we have added another, if we have added a position is equal to dodge for this type of graphs. Here we have again generated a histogram, and what is the difference between the previous one and this one histograms? We can observe the code that we have started again with the ggplot function. First input data, then add the layers of geom histogram and map the aesthetics. We mentioned the variable highway mileage on x-axis, and then we have again mapped aesthetics. Fill is equal to sky blue, means we want to make bars that are and fill these bars with the color sky blue, and then color is equal to black is used to the outline color. These both graphs, you can observe that both graphs are different. If we have not defined the themes, then ggplot produce the background in gray, in a gray shade. But if we add the layer of theme underscore minimal, it is one of the theme I have used. There are many more like theme brewer that can also be used. So when we use theme underscore minimal, it will clear the background. And it is it makes a graph. We can use it for publication because it is a since the background color is clear, so it is a publication friendly version. We can use many other themes according to our need or to meet our objectives. And if we want to add the titles and captions, so just observe that initial code is the same, but here we add another layer that is of labels, labs, labs. We use the lab function, and inside the parentheses, we mention the title is equal to, within the inverted comma, as we know that is a string, and then separated by comma, we mention what should be displayed on x-axis as a label and what should be displayed on y-axis as a label. Then again, we have added the theme minimal for this graph. So these are the graphs generated using ggplot2 functions. Again, facet plot. So this is the finally template of to make a ggplot, and it is very simple. We have used the ggplot function, first input data, then add the layer of geometric object, and then map it with the aesthetics, and aesthetics can be a stat or and then define a position, add the layer of coordinate function, we can add the layer of facet function, we can add the layer of scale function or a theme function. You may access all these materials related to these slides and RMD file from this source, that is ggplot2.tidyverse.org. And this is all from my side. I think now I stop share the screen, but I want to open the RMD file and tell little bit about how code works in the RStudio. I think I have, whether I have time, it is, oh.
Yeah, it's you
Time
have
is
six.
short.
We have only six. Yeah,
Oh,
6 minutes
but
only.
okay, I will try to cover in the 6 minutes. I am just sharing the RStudio.
Okay.
Uh, uh, Is it shared?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay. It is the display of RStudio, as I have previously mentioned, that it has 4 panes. This one is the editor window. Below it is the console, and on the right bottom is the output pane. So first of all, if you want to create a new file, you will have to go on the new file and create our notebook. So this untitled R notebook has been created. You can mention the title of project here, and each R notebook has an associated HTML file or HTML notebook. Here you can observe a gray area, and this gray area is called a chunk. We run the code in this chunk. If we run the code in this chunk, we generally save our code in the form of chunks, or in the smaller part. We can save it in small parts. So here, if we run the code in this chunk, the output will be displayed just below the chunk. And to run the chunk, we can use either, you can observe this downward arrow. It is used to run all chunks. And here is the right arrow, and it shows, it will, here you can observe that there appear run current chunk. So it will just run the current chunk. You may also run the chunks or selected lines using this drop down menu as well, or you can just write the code in the console and press enter, it will be executed. Now I will, just a minute, it is, what is happening? Okay. You can install package tidyverse using tools. Go to the install package and give the name of package tidyverse and install it. So it is installing the package tidyverse. You must have a good internet connection. Uh, hmm, is it in? Is it done or not? Hmm, is it done or not? Just I think it is done. Library. Now we will load library. Library. Tidyverse. Tidyverse. And we can observe that here the package ggplot is loaded. Now I will use my own RMD file which I have made for this tutorial. So I will first clear the whole space in the console so that you can easily view it. Let us start with our first one code. That is, we have to start our code of to produce the R graphics by the ggplot function. Ggplot is the name of function. Next element is the date. We can write data is equal to, or if we write mpg, then it will also accept this code. Then we add the layer, and here we are adding the layer point, and we are going to map text. So we are using very basic text, just mention variable on x you want to take and variable on y-axis you want to take. So here is the code. If we run it, I have pressed the enter. I have missed something. Dispel. I have given the wrong spellings of the variable on x-axis. So here you can view that plot is displayed on the right, bottom right pane. You can save this graph using the export function. You can save as image, or you can save it as a PDF. So I am just skipping this part. Similarly, if you want to execute the code in the, since time is less, so I will share this RMD file with you, or you can access on the websites I have mentioned earlier. If I execute code inside the chunk, so what happened? The graph is generated just below the chunk. So here the graph is generated. So you can generate your graphs very easily by understanding the basic code, and you can play with ggplot. This is, I have used simple examples of how to generate the graphs using the ggplot, but you can go further and you can use AI can suggest you code. You can try it in the console, and if it meets your objective, you can save it in the script editor. So here time is over now, so I am not experimenting each code here using the RMD file, but you can do it easily just if you have the knowledge of how to run the code in the RStudio. So it's all from my side. Thank you so much for your patience. So I
Thank you, Dr.
am
Asifa.
winding up here.